Hi, my name is Melissa Effa, and this is LA Homecoming Day 1. I am the founder of Hole and Scene. We are the organization that is putting on this virtual event. It is going to be a virtual turn up. The purpose of this event is to raise money for resources and computers for Black students in low-income areas. There's a significant amount of students that do not have computers to log into their classes from home during COVID-19, and we're partnered with KIPP Charter Schools in South LA to raise money for their students. So please make sure you donate, have fun, turn up, write notes. It's gonna be a lituation.
What's up, everybody? My name is Portia Carter, and I attended the illustrious Tennessee State University. That's right, my HBCU, okay? So when I first stepped into the campus of TSU, I was literally like, wow, these people are so lively. Like, I know I experienced liveliness with my people back home and, family functions and everything, but this was to another level, and I was just excited to be there and getting involved. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about Black history. I just learned how to, think, work, and serve in excellence, as our school motto is. And to see that there are different experiences from people all across the world, within the Black communities was an amazing thing as well, because people from all cities attended TSU, okay? Like, everybody was there. It was a big melting pot. It was amazing. So my favorite part about going to TSU, I have had so many amazing experiences at that school, but I can only name one for this video. So we're gonna go ahead and go back to fall of 2014, the Southern Heritage Classic, of which when I was Miss Junior, a campus queen on the Royal Court. And I was sitting there, watched them play football. We played against Jackson State and won, beat them, okay? Like we always do. We just gonna put that there. But anyway, so we won the classic, and at the end, they displayed fireworks. Now, that moment for me was such a significant moment because, we all sitting here watching the fireworks, and then we like, I'm so glad I go to TSU. And for me, it was just a celebration of a Black experience. Our HBCUs are not celebrated as they should be in society. So for me to have that moment right then and there where, we're singing for, an amazing event that just transpired within our university, and taking pride in our school and celebrating that with fireworks and, our song, it just did a lot for me in that moment. And I loved it so much. Like, right then and there, I looked up and thanked God that he had brought me to my HBCU, okay?
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this and sworn like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, wish out you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that put the kids to bed. This that I got realness. I just kill cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. DNA. I just win again, then win again like Wimbledon I serve. Yeah, that's him again. The sound that engine in is like a bird. You see fireworks and Corvette tires skirt the boulevard. I know how you work, I know just who you are. See, user. Your hormones probably switch inside your DNA. Problem is, all that sucker shit inside your DNA. Daddy probably snitch, heritage inside your DNA. Backbone don't exist, born on side a jellyfish I gauge. See my pedigree, most definitely don't tolerate the front. I been through probably offend you, this is Paula's oldest son. I know murder, conviction, burners, boosters, burglars, ballers, dead, redemption, scholars, fathers, dead with kids and I wish I was fed. Forgiveness, yeah. Soldier's DNA, born inside the beast. My expertise checked out in second grade. When I was 9, on sale motel, we didn't have nowhere to stay. At 29, I've done so well, hit cartwheel in my estate. And I'm gon' shine like I'm supposed to, antisocial, extrovert, and excellent.
Hell yeah. Anyways, we can get them moving on the dance floor. No choice. You don't like religion, but you like this. You don't want kids, but you want this. I ain't never had the juice like this. Backstroke up in the lane. Listen, I'm a real nigga, love a go-getter. See, ain't no around the city.
Monyee, and I am the host of Shaping the Shift podcast, as well as a marriage and family therapist. Welcome to the Mental Health It's Okay to Not Be Okay panel. I am here today with two amazing guests, Adrienne Reed, CEO of the Hamba Group and co-founder of Brunch to Bomb, and Major, Grammy-nominated singer, songwriter, and actor. Welcome, you all. You're so excited you're here.
Thank you. Thanks
for having us.
Yeah, we're really excited about having this conversation. Even just the title, It's Okay to Not Be Okay, right? And talking about mental health in the Black community, I think it's going to be really powerful. So we're going to just jump right in, right? It seems right now that mental health, and it also, I feel, could be a generational thing. So we could talk about that, has been given much more of a focus and being discussed like more than ever. It's not as taboo to say, I'm struggling with anxiety, I'm struggling with depression, as it was maybe for our parents and our parents' parents. So what do you feel has led to this evolution of mental health awareness? Either of you can.
Honestly, I think that there are a lot of things that we have to tackle as a culture, and I just think it's naive to think that we could tackle them all at one time. And I think that generationally, we're at a place now where we have the space and capacity to look inward. A lot of the things that we have tackled culturally, generation after generation, have been very front-facing. And so, not to say that those things have, dissipated, right? They're still very present, but there has been a space and time where we've been able to look inside and see how we're contributing to the makeup of the world, how we're showing up for ourselves and for others. And I think that space to be introspective is something that we are just now really having the opportunity to explore. which really speaks to, again, some of the generational gaps and the economic gaps, quite frankly, that have been placed against us culturally, right? It's a luxury to be able to look inside for us. So I think that generationally, you know, millennials are really the first that are really getting to consistently look on the inside and understand who they are emotionally, understand that there's purpose over their life, understand and explore concepts like alignment. They just weren't luxuries from our parents that we had. And I think that it'd be really interesting to see what our kids do.
I love that.
Yeah, I agree. I too believe that therapy and the acquiring of such help has become a cool trend now. It's now more on trend to get the help that you need so that you can better sustain and maintain. I think in the Black community and communities of color in particular, it's very important that we do a bit more digging, you know, because there's a lot of trauma to unpack that we haven't addressed. The beautiful thing of this civil unrest, and also as a result of this pandemic, it's mandated a stillness and an introspection. So it's causing people to have to see themselves, see what it is that they possess, what they're contributing, and what their environments are contributing, and taking proper inventory. So, yeah.
No, I agree. I think both the current events, like you're saying, Major, but also the generational, like, luxury, like you're talking about, Adrienne, is so true. And so I work with students, college students, and I have to remind them, like, you can't go home waving terms like post-traumatic stress at your parents, right? Like, they don't know what you're talking about. And because of them, we are, right? No matter what that looked like, you know, we can go into detail about parental trauma and all that, but you're here with that language because they survived something. And so learning how to take from this generation, right, the millennials, this like introspective look, but also recognizing that the reason you're able to have the freedom for that breath to even be taken is because the people before you who did not have, like you, in your words, the luxury of that introspective look, right? And now the introspection is deeper because you stuck in the house.
Yeah.
So you have to look deeper, right? So, you know, thinking about like where we are and how we've evolved as Black people and how we continue to, I think, just surprise the world with who we show up as in our resilience and our brilliance. Thinking about the term Black excellence, right? That we have a lot of things that we birth out of ourselves as a way of saying to the world, like, this is who we actually are. This is who you say we are, but this is who we actually are. Like, hashtag Black excellence feels like one of those things where it's like, okay, you're not going to amplify us, so we're going to amplify us using like hashtag Black excellence. And I'm also thinking though about how that feeling of Black excellence and having to be excellent, how does that sometimes, that striving towards excellence, harm us from saying if we're not okay, prevent us from saying when too much is too much? You know, we're in recent news where a lot of celebrities are saying or even demonstrating, whether they're acting out through attempts on their own life or just whatever it could be, right? They're saying we're trying to strive for this excellence, but we're also suffering in the process. And so where do we find the line between like Black excellence as this really amazing term that we coined to celebrate ourselves, but also the pressure that may come with it to be perfect?
I can say with me that this is something that I struggle with severely. I feel like we just tapped into Tuesday's therapy session. Shout out to my therapist. Ongoing homework. I am a workaholic, and I've recently been diving into very specifically the mantles that I carry associated to being a successful Black woman. Because in addition to my pursuit of purpose and what I'm doing with my work and my businesses, etc., I'm also taking care of my community innately. And I carry all of these things, right? Like one of my play little brothers lives with me. And when we had curfews, he likes to sit on the patio to decompress. I heard fireworks, right, which sound very much so like gunshots outside. And I couldn't find him, and it was a debate. It was like, what's the issue? This, that, and the third. And it's like, that's my responsibility. Like, I have all of these things that I carry, right? And so it's very interesting for me. And I think that leveraging the dialogue that I have with my therapist has been really, really important. And I would take this time to really proactively suggest to folks, think about, for me at least, I think about having a therapist like having a trainer. They're really there to help me be greater, right? It's not an ER visit, right? I'm about to go into shock, right?
Say that one more time. Therapy is not an ER visit.
Yes.
There's trauma there, but we're not about to bleed out. You can get in front of it before you bleed out, right? You can say, I have a slow leak. Let's get in front of it. Or I see the propensity to develop a slow leak here, right? So when I'm going to my therapist, I'll let them know, hey, I sense that I'm feeling bothered about a thing, but I can't put my finger on it. Help me get to where that thing is. And when I get there, what do you suggest I do? Based on your knowledge of me, right? So we're building relationship, just like your physical trainer knows how your body responds. Everybody doesn't do well with the same workout. So I'm proactively seeing my therapist, right? And I got to a point where I was just like, I have a bunch of guy friends who are just out here like, Rona, police. And I'm not going to get into these debates, but I'm absorbing the weight. I'm sponging it. There's a fear and a trepidation in being able to protect them, which I can't do. And now I'm just worried. I'm just in this constant state of worry. Where do I release? Amplified by, me trying to prove my family wrong with my path less traveled that I've decided to take, less traveled by my namesake, right? More traveled by my generation. I'm pursuing this very unique thing that I'm trying to do while I have the weight of my uncle telling me, well, this is great. So now let's go to school and study the thing that you're great at. And it's like, sir, what's backwards? And I think the thing I carry the most is I just uncovered a really beautiful moment with my therapist that the thing that I do to solve my trauma is I create. And so my creations, because I'm so eager to help others solve their trauma, I don't get the solution out of it. I build communities to fix my problems, but I give the community to the community and carry it on my shoulders with everything else. The epitome of a Black woman struggle. And then while I'm carrying it, not seeing as soft or feminine enough in doing so because I'm exhausted. Also, Major and I both used to go to the same church, so I know we're on the purpose lane, right? So like when I'm thinking about excellence, I think about purpose, but my purpose is fun. Like I enjoy work, but I also physically am just like, girl, sit down. Like
one of the things, Adrienne, that I've learned is purpose is never going to be anything that's an assignment of God and Creator, is never going to leave you at deficit. Because God is a replenisher of the giver. And so, and it's a simultaneous replenishment as you give when rightly postured. Because I know we both share that empath blessing and curse. It's that space of wanting to and feeling obligated and feeling an urgency or conviction to respond to the need, but sometimes in doing so forgetting ourselves in the equation. But even when the scripture says to love your neighbor as you love yourself, it's saying love according to the measure you have established for yourself, so that it can be in healthy balance that never leaves you depleted while filling the other. And so first of all, I salute you because you are a hardworking woman. Both of you ladies are absolutely hardworking, and we need to do a better job of uplifting our Black queens, our African American queens that are on the front lines doing the work that often applauded, that does not get lauded appropriately. We can do much better in that space. And so I'm taking this space to acknowledge you all and to allow you to understand you are worthy of the crown that you've had to wear for so long, even when the light didn't reflect your worthiness. I also want to speak to that Black excellence.
Yes, please,
on
especially in your industry.
Listen, this shirt was made by you know the artist, I forget his name. He has Studio B in New Orleans. But I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. I think oftentimes what we think is we have to be every single thing that was dreamed all at once. But even Bible, and I always go to Bible because that's my faith center. Even Bible says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It does not say I can do all things at once through Christ who strengthens me. There is process to it all. Adrienne, listen, queen. There is process. It is one day, one moment at a time. Pace is grace. I will never claim perfectionist, but I'm an excellentist. And everything must be done well. Whatever I am left with, whatever resource I have, I do my best to do it well and excellent, most excellent. And oftentimes that can expend energy beyond what you had allotted for the task. And it draws out of you and you're left wondering, wait a minute, I thought this bar of excellence was to be rewarded more quickly. Like, let me feel the benefits of this effort. And so, I'm having to remind myself, just like what you just did.
Breathe.
And exhale.
Yeah, I thank you both so much for like knocking that question out of the park with transparency and with so much love and care. I would say that it sounds like we need to decolonize Black excellence, right? At some point I can feel the white supremacy in it, because the white supremacy in it says Black excellence according to who, right? So our Black excellence is effortless. Effortless. You ever seen when Nina Simone is singing? You ever see, Savion Glover tap dancing? It's not that they didn't work hard at, but that thing is effortless. Our excellence is effortless. So if you find yourself putting all this effort, it's no longer just about Black excellence. It's about Black excellence according to who. So for me, what keeps mine in check, and Adrienne, I have been there, boo, done that. In there, is Black joy. That is my North Star. That is my center. So if it is not bringing me joy, it cannot be excellent, period.
Come on.
It cannot be. It's impossible. These two things cannot exist in the same space.
Excellent. The absence of joy in that means there is no excellence.
It's not excellent.
Excellence.
Because then it's like, excellent for who?
It's a completed task, but it's not excellence.
It's a completed task, which then is about, again, white supremacy, perfectionism, task-oriented. We are not about that. We're about wholeness. What does Black wholeness look like? Black wholeness looks like a center of joy. Yes, it's excellent because it's effortless and it brings up so much light and joy from our depths, right? And so I really had to unlearn this myth that if I wasn't actively, and I do mean actively, doing things, that I'm so powerful that I can think things without moving my pinky finger. And they happen. And so if I want my friends to wear masks because of COVID and they're not, what I'm going to do is say, Spirit, I'm going to need you to talk to them about doing some math. I do everything spirit first, joy first. And then I trust that it's going to work itself out in the physical, because this body, like you said, the Bible also says, do not neglect the gift that is within you. If you're running around doing stuff, all these things, where is your gift? Do not neglect the gift that has been in you since the laying on of hands. Right? So while we're out here trying to check all the boxes, we are neglecting the gift, which would truly be this. And it's partly because we have been told it's got to come through struggle. This is that post-traumatic slave syndrome. It's got it by Dr. Joy DeGruy. It's got to come through struggle. It's got to come through hard work, then bootstraps. And, no, it actually comes through this really beautiful, effortless peace, this really clear sense of self. It's when you're going to find your truest excellence. So y'all, listen, I think we just nailed the Black excellence piece. High five. I think we did that. I think we did that.
You know, when we speak about the white supremacy, I want to make certain that it is clear it's not that this is present day intentionality of every single white person to inflict this. Because
what I hear you saying is you've created an ecosystem where all you have to do is create the ecosystem. They come in as themselves. That naturally feeds the ecosystem, and the output is what corporate America would call networking, you know, all these technical terms, but what they call just communing, just, you know, kicking it, turns into collaborations, partnerships, and so on and so forth. So creating an ecosystem for people to be themselves produces joy, which is a form of resistance, because that is counter, like you're saying, to the dominant culture's narrative about what it means to connect and what it means to, I agree. Major, go ahead.
Potential corporate partners faces when I tell them that our profile includes everything from Grammy award-winning artists, to psychologists, to lawyers, professors at UNC, to managers at Target, to people cashiers at Burger King. It's all there at the same at the same time, and it's all love. There's no hate, because we're all enjoying ourselves and expressing ourselves on a similar plane. And our level of success or Black excellence doesn't define how we show up to
in this space. I love it. What about you, Major? What do you think about joy as a form of resistance?
Well, I definitely understand it as a form of an expressive form of defiance. Like, it's like I choose to be, to indwell in this space of liberty as me. When they say, you see that Black boy joy, or that Black girl magic, or Black girl joy, when you see that, you see people simply being, unapologetically being. And I just encourage, you know, people to lean into that, because joy has a way of making one who was once defiant submit or dismiss
or go.
Like it's like you when
it's like a filter. It filters out. It filters out people effortlessly.
It's
Even let's talk a little bit about how we can sort of shift, not dismiss, because we've talked about the importance of these generational adaptive copings, right? We are strong, we are resilient. What about the and? How can we expand that so that we can be okay saying we're not okay?
Giving room.
First for this one.
Equal opportunity. And it's so hard. My super chivalry, my chivalrous nature is always like, have your way, Queen. Have your way.
Decision. Major's answering the next question first.
So I've shared this, and I've come to this revelation myself. Hope and faith and joy, these virtues are not to exist in the absence of reality. It's in the midst of these realities, right? In the midst of these realities, we can still have joy, we can still have faith, we can still have hope. I think we need to better define, as you've done so well, both of you all, better define our understanding of this thing called joy. Joy does not need the permission of all things the way we need them to be or want them to be in order to exist. I remember going to Ghana at the end of last year, and it was hot. And we drove through certain parts where it was nothing but dirt road and huts. And I'm seeing people sweating, and I'm talking about, from my experience, sweating too much. We're like, all right, can we get to some air conditioning? But we're driving. And every single person, almost every single person, they may have a period where they're just, you can tell they're exhausted from the heat and having to walk, without cars. You make eye contact with them, a smile comes to their face. And Joy said, oh, I'm still here.
Yes.
Regardless of the circumstances, I'm still found.
Yeah.
I can still live. And that's when it let me know joy does not need all things working together perfectly to have its permission to be. It's the freedom, it's the expressive freedom to simply be and to find a center of this is okay with me until it is even more okay.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
Well, because that taps into the transformational power of that joy.
Yeah.
Right? If you have to wait for a law to pass or for a certain group of people to approve of you, that's not joy, that's permission.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is knowing in your being that you have a right to every form of human expression available to you, including joy, including pleasure. And when you tap into that, what that does do, exactly what you said, guess what? It transforms things. So now you're not thinking about the heat. The heat didn't change.
It's crazy.
The heat didn't change.
It's
but you're not
crazy.
thinking
No, it
about
works
the
that
heat.
way. Come
right?
on.
You're thinking about this person and this interaction. Joy changes your whole perspective. It transforms the world around you much faster than a law. Go ahead, Adrienne. I want to give you a chance to answer that question too about how we can kind of shift from just thinking of ourselves as strong and resilient, which upholds the stigma that we have to always be okay, into adding on to that other experiences that we are entitled to.
Yeah, I think it's much simpler said than done, and it's silencing the noise to understand what's innately already there, right? When Major said, he was in Ghana, right? All of these things were happening in the environment, but the baseline sound was joy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think about, and we spoke a bit about scriptural references. I think about Jeremiah 29:11, for I knew you when I put you in your mother's womb. You didn't have the worries of the world when you were an idea. You didn't have that. Whoever you were going to be and how you were going to express yourself was already defined in that moment. The thing that blocked you from knowing that to where you are today is the noise that you've absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, I spend time meditating and looking inward and finding peace and center around what was that noise that was first planted there? What was that sound? And how do I create space for it to reverberate through me? Right? It's saying that if we subscribe to joy comes in the morning, then don't turn over. Get up, rise in. I feel like joy has always come in the morning, and it came in the morning for our ancestors, for our parents, for our grandparents, but they got up and went to work. And work and step inside of the joy, and then let the work attract itself to the joy that they were in. Yeah. It's, as you were saying earlier, but I think that it's really, very simply put, silencing the noise and letting the joy that's already in you and the expressions that you associate to joy scream out.
Yes.
You have to fit, joy shouldn't fit in a box. And that's the resistance of it all.
Yes. Yes. And I would say that noise that you speak of, we should know is manufactured so that you don't know who you are. I think that there's a piece of this that is almost pushing us back to a way of understanding ourselves that does die down that noise, but we have to recognize it as something. Why would they put billions and billions of dollars to keeping us distracted if there wasn't something really potent and powerful inside of us that needed to come forward,
Well, I want to say thank you all again. Like, I'm so grateful in this whole, like, I'm just like perpetual gratitude. I'm like, oh,
it's going
good. Right now, I'm of tremendous transition. I'm about to get married August 8th.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm preparing for a wedding. I'm preparing for a marriage. I'm preparing for what that means in new housing. I'm in all of these transitions, and they are frustrating. Today has just been a heaviness of this and that and this. This didn't get approved, and this we're still waiting on this. And I'm just like, this is crazy. And I'm grateful for this, because I woke up this morning with my mind. No, I woke up this morning and I said to myself that this was going to be a great day, and I'm gonna get through it. It's gonna be great. And then all of a sudden I was challenged by what I called and what I said would be. And sure enough, we're on this Zoom where I've given myself permission to rise up in the joy, even though some of the circumstances are not presently where I would want them to be. Joy still has permission to lift me above that and give me a peace to flow and move to the next, knowing that it can be conquered just as the last was. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
I love that. But I would love to hear from each of you. And this might be our wrap-up question is, how would somebody listening, because all of us are in certain positions and have gotten there through a lot of work. Maybe it's therapy, maybe it's our spiritual practices and our religions, but we've had to work to get to this place of joy, right? And we're still working. But how does someone who is at the beginning of this journey know when they're not okay, right? Because the people in their family may be modeling it very different because they're from a different generation. But what are some of the signs for you when you know, okay, wait, I'm not okay. I need to schedule an appointment. I need to check in with a friend. I need to, I need to pray. What are the signs for you that you're not okay or that you're not aligned in that moment?
For me, it's a sense of imbalance. Something feels off, and it manifests itself in a physical way. Like I literally will be standing up and not feel balanced in my stance because I carry so much that sometimes I let it go too far. My therapist says sometimes I let my pail fill all the way to the top of the water, and then I'm confused at why things are spilling out. Like I haven't given myself any space for anything to occur. And so there's almost a tangible weight associated to that breaking point. It's a tension, right? It feels tense within, and that's when I know I need to, whatever my chosen thing is at the time, I need to talk to my therapist. I need to meditate. I need to rest. I need to do something fun. I need to go to the beach. I need to go for a drive. I need to stop in this moment. I need to unplug from the noise, and I need to focus on myself, right? I can say that it's also tribe. Having folks around you that know you so well, that can forecast and care for you and cover you in a very tangible way, right? And I think for me, there's always been a willingness and a transparency and always enveloping more folks in my tribe. You two I've met you before, and I've known each other for a while, Major and I have encountered, but in this conversation, at the level of transparency that we have, we're folded into tribe. And that I've taken away from this conversation, kind of echoing the same feedback that Major was transparent in sharing, is a reminder of grace, and also a reminder to be open to removal and to receive the more that I don't have room to receive, right? There's a reason why I feel this way this day.
Yes.
And the reason why I feel this way this day, and I have this panel on this day.
Yes.
And I always have to show up and be a superstar and be all of Black excellent. I could just absorb. I've been on my hands trying not to grab this paper and pen and take notes on some of the things that you've been sewing into me, both of you. And it's just really allowing the day and the moment to speak to you. Whatever you need, the universe already knows that. Yeah. So I think that it's once you feel that off center, or once you feel physically off balance, whatever it is that triggers you to know that something's not okay, I don't think that that's the hard part. I think we all know when something's wrong. The hard part is, now what? Now what? The now what is just let it out. Yeah. And out in whatever way is accessible in that moment. Pick up the phone, shoot a text, take some time to yourself, take that long shower, whatever, so that you can unpack it. Sometimes we need to sound it out. Sometimes we need to sound it in. But whatever it is, you have to let it out. Yeah. Otherwise, will continue to fill with water, and you will
your therapist is proud of you.
So proud.
Because you are sharing nuggets that I know will be helping quite a few folks.
Yes.
It's helping me, and I appreciate that. I know for myself, one of the things that lets me know that I'm off is I will implode or snap over the small things. And I start getting offended by stuff that I used to sit in for. And I'm like, what's my what's going on? Why am I tripping? And now that, I'm in this this engagement period, I'm learning to make room for opinion and perspective beyond my own, outside of myself, which is actually humility and the way of humanity, the honorable way of humanity. And so, but finding myself snapping or being offended by over small things, that's when I know, we need to do some internal stuff. We need to rework some stuff. I wanted to share something. I know we're running on time, but so I got a call recently, and with everything going on, I got a call from a very successful woman by the name of Oprah, and she was calling to thank me for letting them use my song for a special she did on Black fathers. I was very excited. I've been a fan of Oprah forever. Like I used to watch Oprah and cartoons, literally. And so she calls me and she's letting me know, she's saying, I just want to thank you, thank you for this. She says, you're a big manifester. And she's talking to me and out of excitement and out of not wanting to lose whatever I can get in this call, I just go dumping and then this, and then this, and I want to thank you for this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and I recorded some of it, and I'm listening back, and I'm like, maybe you did not have to do all of that. Thankfully, she was gracious enough to hear me and to laugh and stuff, but I'm hearing myself, and I'm like, you did not have to do all of that. She's already showing you that she sees you. She hears you and she understands you. She's willing to give you your space. You don't have to try to clamor for whatever time that you have in this space. But I thank God for the grace that she extended to still allow me to do all of that. But I'm learning in these spaces that everything does not have to be said all at once. Just be. Yeah. I
love it. Just be. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Your being is definitely enough. And it's more than okay to not be okay. It's informative. It's informative. It's information when we're not okay. What is my body saying? I don't think of these things as symptoms. When you can't sleep or your appetite is going down or you're irritable or you don't want to be around people like you used to. And these are not symptoms. They're signals. What are your ancestors trying to tell you? What is your spirit trying to tell you? Right? So I think for us, we need to reacclimate our mind. The symptoms make us shame it and cover it. But if we think of them as signals, maybe we'll tune in and listen. That if we're not okay, that is the biggest signal of all. And that doesn't mean that something's wrong with us. That means that it's an opportunity for us to expand into a bigger, greater version of ourselves. So we can do this all day, but I don't want to get into trouble.
You're a rock star.
You all were wonderful. Your transparency was amazing. And it's a testament to your work in the community and to your just open hearts and your own evolution. You can find me if you need anything. So that's that. This concludes our panel, but I want to thank Adrienne and Major for taking part and everyone watching to stay tuned for the rest of this amazing event, LA Homecoming.
It's okay to not be okay.
Man, I got this swag. My head back to my bed. You know I'm about to take. Yo, man, I got this swag. Man, I got this swag. My head back to my bed. You know I'm about to take. Yo, man, I got this swag. When I surf, now I be surfing swag. I'm on hypnotic, exotic, polo on my body. Got a bag, girl beside me, and a friend right behind me.
bricks. We don't sell shit, we just make hits. Yeah. Tryna keeping my composure, never sober, never choking, always smoking dozy. Fuck them if they getting over, got a month, coat me cause the kid the coldest. I ain't changed, I stay the same and maintain it. Safe to say the kid getting older. Forever gang, I'm never switching over. Made a lane and niggas can't get over. I can't mess with rappers, they be bogus. Rather get a pack and keep it over. Big dripper stand up in the ocean. Everybody trapping, we get losing. He ain't 4PF if he ain't got motion. Made a half a ticket out promotion. Shout out Switcher Sweet, they keep me rolling. But if we catch the op, we gotta smoke 'em.
Bean, ride, up, down, come here, give me high five, yeah, I love my guys, no question about it, we gon' ride the way we hit that groove, they say you so smooth, yeah, you so fly, and then we hit the whoa, hit the folk, they begging for some more, we been that low and hit the road, I tell my boy, let's rock and roll, hey, I be the latest one inside this party, don't make me.
Hello everyone, this is Lakers legend Robert Horry. Both myself and the Lakers hope you're enjoying this year's LA Homecoming event. We appreciate the work that Hole and Scene has done to bring this event together. There are many great performances and panel discussions coming with urgent topics that we need to hear right now. Not only is this event special for many reasons, but the event is also raising money for Black youth who have been impacted by COVID-19. We hope you continue to enjoy tonight's event and party with a purpose.
Hi, my name is Brandon and I went to Hampton University, also known as the real HU. And my favorite memory of going to Hampton was actually before I even got accepted to the school. I went to visit Hampton University because I heard great things about it and how beautiful the campus was. Little to my surprise, I realized that the women there were even more beautiful than the campus. So I had an amazing time viewing all these beautiful Black women just strolling around the campus casually in their fashion gowns and whatever they were wearing, because Hampton is known for just being like the most fashionable HBCU of all the HBCUs, I feel like, because we wear like Gucci to gym class or whatever, you know. So that was like an experience for me that I'll always remember and never forget, like just my first time being on the campus and being immersed in the community of Hampton.
Yeah. And this nigga think we hoes or something, my nigga. Shit. Man, what the fuck to the motherfucker nigga how hard we really motherfucking is in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Fuck nigga. Shit, man, old punk ass security guard nigga, fuck me out the club, nigga. That don't mean nothing, nigga. I'ma fuck this nigga up, my nigga. Shit, let me show you. So I'm outside of the club and he think I'm a pawn. So I go to my loaded tank, 9 that's open the trunk. I told that motherfucker, I ain't never scared. 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 Soldiers, thugs, niggas, I know you want it. Don't stop, get it. Bitches better get up on it. Sit up on it, shout it, get up on it. See when I spit up on it, shit up all over niggas like a Harley pickup. When I throw a kid up on it, pick up all of my niggas that ain't scared of the hustle. Throw another mill up on it. I'ma cop a lot of land and I'ma cop a mountain and throw a little crib up on it. Yes, I eat your food and you know I'm gonna chow down. Motherfucker, all your niggas better bow down. Motherfucker, boy, I had to come in. Motherfucker, I ain't playing with you. Before I let my niggas touch you. It's a must that we gotta rush you. Shatter bones in your body when I bust a hollow bone crusher. Let me spell it out for you, homie. I hope you came prepared. Cause I don't care if you live or phony, cause we ain't never scared. Flip more than the dirty shop, niggas know what's up. Cause we got you open, dude. Fuck that, make a little fucking nigga fall on their back. Laying stiffer than a frozen food. To stop me, you have to hit cake in the bagger. Or watch niggas acknowledge the general and all. So I'm outside of the club.
with the actress, writer, comedian, activist Amanda Seales, and the Trailblazers CEO and co-founder of the amazing brand behind Beatrice, Dixon. Ladies, thank you so much for taking part in this. It means so much to have you both here. Today on this panel, we're going to be talking about Black ownership and how can we as a community begin to own our culture. One thing that us as a community kind of says with pride is pop culture is Black culture, like we are the culture. And when we talk about ownership of our culture, how can we own a culture when it is so readily available and just pervasive for everyone? And you talked about boundaries. How can we be able to, set those boundaries?
When look, I have a different opinion. Sorry, I'm having to move around a little bit. I think we're thinking about it too hard. Honestly, I think we need to raise our consciousness and awareness. And I think that we need to stop asking for shit, and we need to start doing and believing that we can and accomplishing because we can. All these programs are created for us, which is cool, right? Like, that's great, right? I heard a term. What was it? Missionary. Hold on. It was missionary charity. No, we don't need their fucking missionary charity, bro.
Who said what? Wait, what was that?
I was watching I Am Not Your Negro.
Yeah.
And that's something that James Baldwin said.
Yeah.
He was doing it. Sorry if it's too bright, y'all, but this is where I got
No, it's fine. It's fine.
He was doing a talk at I don't know which college it was. Maybe it was like Yale or something, like the law school. And he was basically saying, all we want to be treated like is fucking human beings, right? That's all we want, right? The conditioning that has gone into what has turned out to be the state of being of the Black community, right? It started from the start of this fucking country, right? It has been like shoved down our throat, right? Whether it's how the music industry changed, whether it's how it goes so deep, right? But I just think that I don't think that we need to keep having the same fucking conversation about racism, about how do we get back our culture.
Right. We
don't have to get back shit. Let's just be present. Let's take what we have to get there, right? But honestly, and I may not have a popular opinion about this. I don't. The culture that is the Black culture at this point, right? I don't know. While I just think we have a lot of work to do, and I think that we have to lift up our vibration. And I think we have to think differently, and we need to take responsibility for our fucking health, so that every time there's a conversation, and I know that there's food deserts, and I understand all that. I get that. I know that in our communities, they're fucking full of like fast food restaurants and convenience stores. I get that. I completely understand that, right? But I think we have to raise our vibration on levels. And I think that there is so much self-work that we have to do within ourselves for us to grow and scale and get to where we're trying to get to. So we don't keep having the same fucking conversation, right? It's like we're going in circles.
I think the value of the conversations is that you have to keep having conversations along with actions, because it's the same way that like your mother could have told you something,
right?
And then she told it to you again, and then she told it to you again, but then you heard this other random person say it, and it was like brand new for you, and you got it that time,
right?
And so the conversation, it's less about the redundancy of it but about the regimen of it.
I
And
agree with
see,
you.
and I will say that I feel you in the sense that like, you don't want to keep having the conversation as if it's the first time it's being had. That
Exactly.
I completely get. But
that's what I mean. But that's exactly what I mean, Amanda.
But I think that for a lot of people, it may be the first time they're hearing it though.
Mm-hmm.
And especially right now, you know, there's just a lot of folks who, and I mean Black folks, who are like, you know what? Maybe I really do need to get down to this conscious thing, you know, because one thing Black folk hate is being left out, right? We do not like being left out of some shit. So right now, it's like, if you ain't really up on it, you really kind of feel like, oh, well, you know what? They keep talking about this defund the police shit. Maybe I need to know what that is, because I don't like that they talking about this shit and I don't know what it is, you know?
Right.
And, you know, so I think it's really about continuing to have nuance, about continuing to couple it with action. There is action in having conversation, but and there is also action in what goes on after those conversations. And I know for, like, when we got on here, I said, Beatrice, why we always on these panels together? Because we keep being the people that they like, can you come and talk about this? And there's value in the fact that, you know, we have these words because we come from a certain place. But I think that the other unique thing is we are not accustomed to seeing these conversations happen so often, because in the past, there weren't that many opportunities for these conversations to happen this publicly, this often.
Look, you guys, I'm not trying to say that I don't want to keep having the conversation, right? I just don't want us to keep hearing things like COVID has affected the Black community the most, right? The Black community is affected more by high blood pressure, diabetes, this, that. We may be at this point, right? But how do we come together and decide we want to change what these numbers look like, right? How do we come together to try to create better ways for us to eat, better ways for us to take care of our bodies, so we can change that? And is there a way to do it on some silent shit where nobody even knows that we have this master plan, right? I'm just saying.
Well, you're the one that had ancestors visit you with a recipe before, so it's gonna. So
I'm just saying, sister, like that's just one way. That's just one thing. That's just one example, right? That's going to take our responsibility. That's going to take us deciding that we want to make that change on a mass scale, right?
To your point, though, like when you said before that, like, we got to take it, that is what that is. Like, I think there's still so much energy towards like white approval and like working with white folks and like getting what we deserve from them. And it's like dating a whack dude. Like you know this person's limitations. Stop trying to get more from this person than they have shown you to possess. So you know what's in you. And I believe that we really have to look inward. So I'm completely with you.
And to that point, that brings me to my next question. Oftentimes when I see us as a community making stances that are symbolizing Black pride, we are often accused of being divisive or are being racist. And we see it all the time. We saw it with Beatrice's commercial on Target, or a few years ago when Issa was like, I'm rooting for everyone Black. Even some of my Black friends were like, that's racist. And to me, I'm like, that is not racist. But how can we as a community, and we're talking about consciousness and raising our vibrations up, but how can we, what are the steps that you guys have taken to kind of combat that threat of feeling like you're being divisive when making statements of Black pride?
Well, I know in one way, I just keep talking. You know, I just don't shut up about it. And whatever platform I'm on, whether it's my Instagram or the BET Awards, you know, I'm just very convicted and conclusive about it. Like there's no wavering, you know, it's not up for discussion. It's not, it's not a blurred line. It's just Black is dope. That's what it is. Being Black is great. Being Black is this, and sitting and standing in that. I think, and then in addition, the work that I'm doing is stuff like Smart, Funny, and Black. So creating Smart, Funny, and Black. Smart, Funny, and Black on its surface is a game show, but at its root, it is about using comedy to remind us of our shared community and culture. I mean, that is the purpose of it, and to take pride and celebrate in that, in the midst of all the things that, like you're telling me, like, you know, like friends trying to detract you from that, and doing that, you know, with Smart, Funny, and with SFB Society, my app, and I'm currently right now developing a program that will allow for that to be available, well, for classes in consciousness raising and in identity, et cetera, to be available for free for folks. Because the reality is that we see Jewish community go to Saturday school.
Yeah.
You know, and they learn Hebrew, they learn the Torah, they learn about their history. We see the Muslim community go to Arabic school on weekends and do the same. We see members of the Christian community go to Catholic school and they learn, you know, English and American history at the same time they're learning Catholicism. But what we're not realizing is that even if Black folks don't have a shared spiritual base, we do have a shared connectivity to a history. And there has been consistent energy committed to disconnecting us from that.
Right.
And so we need to consistently reconnect to that.
I know that I'm not divisive or racist or whatever the thing is. I'm not gonna sit here and make it, you know. So I think it's just standing in what you know about yourself, because that's the only real thing that you can control anyway, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's facts. And when we're talking about just kind of taking it and not really, like, you know, asking for it, one thing that I've seen in what I've observed and just in my work, I'm a filmmaker and I went to film school, and one of the things that I saw was that by the time I came to film school, I didn't know anything, but a lot of my white peers had already taken film classes, had already made so many films, got the opportunity to make a lot of mistakes and fail, which is something that you have to do as an entrepreneur, as a creator. And so when we talk about Black people owning their own things and you know, creating their own opportunities, statistically the same resources and opportunities to fail in the same way as our other counterparts, people from other racial groups.
But we have to create those spaces to fail.
That's and you have to want it so bad, right? Whether you had went to film school or not, right? You got to film school when you were supposed to fucking get there.
Facts.
Right? And just because they had more opportunities to fail, so what? You're gonna everything that happens, it happens in order. Everything that happens exactly the way that it will and the way that it should. If I was at a party already and the shit was popping and crazy, and then Amanda just got there, right, and she missed, you know, whatever happening that happened, it doesn't matter what she missed because she just arrived, right? So you're gonna get your opportunities to fail. You just have to show up to the party, like Amanda said, and be ready to do that shit. I think we gotta, this is one of the things that I was talking about. We gotta stop hustling backwards. Don't give a fuck about what they got. Focus on what you got. Focus on your shit. Focus on your health. Focus on your well-being. Focus on your goals. Right? Don't spend your time thinking about what they have and what you don't have. Their opportunities versus yours. Fuck that. You're here. Make the opportunity. Even if it's not there, right? If you want it, keep doing. I know it can happen, sister, because you understand what I'm saying?
I know for me, like, one thing I've really want to do is to create like apprenticeship programs and internship programs that really arm us with the information and access to masters and to individuals who have come before us. Because the other thing is, confidence is hard to come by. Like, and as an artist, that shit is like really difficult to come by. And then so many of them, though, you think they're confident, but a lot of times it's just arrogance, you know? It's conflated ego because they've had like this access. My first job ever, I was 8 years old dancing for Disney, and I was told by this other little boy, like, you know, you only got this because you're Black and they needed one. And I was like, but I'm here though. And I'm a dance with the best of them. And you know what? They put me in the front of the stage because they needed one. And I danced my ass off. But go ahead, B.
No, finish. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna keep pontificating, you know. Don't let me start talking. Go ahead.
No,
B.
I was just saying that's what most people don't realize. Even for those people that may come on set and not know the language, even if you get fired because you didn't know the language, you can still get back up and keep going back. And then guess what? You're gonna learn the fucking language because you keep failing, right? It's good for you because it helps you to learn. You know what I mean? With Amanda, you went into that Disney. You went on that Disney show. You didn't give a fuck if it was some affirmative action shit. You were just here for it, right? You were willing and ready to show up, even if they just needed a Black face. Cool, great. I'm here for that. Let's go dance. You understand what I'm saying? So we just have to, you know?
I think it's twofold. I think it's that, and I think it is us, again, going back to what you were saying, B, it is us creating our own spaces. We've done it before. Like, we've seen the blueprint before. Like, we are magic we aren't magic just because of our abilities. We're magic because of our ability to do what we do in spite of, you know? So when we arm our young people with confidence early on, you know, and with confidence, in my opinion, comes from truth. When you know, because you've tried it and failed,
right?
And then you tried it again and failed, and then you succeeded. Like, you got to go through a process that gives you the confidence of knowing, I know how to fail and keep going. And oftentimes we don't get the luxury of that, because if we fail once, they'll be like, oh, why bother? Why, you know, diminish our production level by bringing in these folks who don't know? And so it's just really about to me, it's like this big picture that we have to look at that starts at the root, you know? And I think so often we're looking at just like the goal, you know, and the final part. And it's like, nah, like, my first and second grade teacher, they told me last year that they had made a decision to protect me. I didn't know that. My mama didn't know that. They had a conversation, these two Black women at Lassen Elementary School. They decided, we're gonna protect Amanda. Because I was had tested gifted, and they were like, we knew that they were gonna come for you. And I know for a fact that the reason I developed into the kind of confident person I am is because there were people who made it their business to protect me. They protected my heart. And we have to like make the decision to do that for each other early on. And that's part of us also reversing that generational trauma. But for you as a director, like, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I was talking about this with Jesse Collins yesterday. How with Black films, it's like, okay, we're gonna give you a shot, and if you don't knock that shit out the water, if the shit ain't, you know, some fucking incredible piece of artistry, flawless, then it's seen as a fail. Where oftentimes with other films, what they do is they parse through. This was a win. This was a win. Could have done this better. This was a fail. This was a win. You know, the film is looked not just at the sum of its parts. It's looked at in these different spaces. But us, we need to create that language. There's movies, but us, we need to create that language. There's movies that we have all seen that if you said, I didn't like this movie, it was like, you don't support Black art. You don't support Black directors. You don't support Black things. And it's like, we have to give ourselves that space to be able to say like, yeah, I like this. I didn't like this. Like, you know, but that's again about us creating a safe space of community.
Right. Because we should be able to speak our truth, you know?
Without caring about how the white people look at it.
Or without caring about how anybody looks at it, right? Like, I think, I don't know. I hope I don't sound like I just love humanity so much. And I just believe in us so much. And I know that we are capable of anything we fucking put our mind to. And even in the face of odds, even in the face of failure, even in the face of people saying that you ain't shit, even in the face of you creating a film and it not working, and there's a bit of a shun that happens. I just believe that even in the face of that, you can still get to where you're going, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just a part of your story. That's a part of what's gonna get you there, you know? I just believe that. I believe in belief because that's like the real fucking like religion, right? That's the real one. And so we put our belief system into so much. We put it out into the world so much. And what we have to learn is how to put it back, how to go in, you know, and put that belief into ourselves and heal ourselves and love ourselves and give grace to ourselves. And then what will happen on the outside of that is the world will start to bend to that, you know?
Yep.
You know, so
yep.
I think in the face of any fucking thing, in the face of racism, in the face of police brutality, in the face of our communities being affected by everything the fucking most, right? I believe that we can conquer that. We just have to fucking want to on levels, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And to both of your points, I mean, so many great things were just shared. There's a conditioning that is kind of placed upon us as a community from, like you said, Amanda, from a young age. Just this conditioning with all these like subliminal messages that we're constantly combating, that in some capacity we're not good enough, especially Black women. And I would love to know personally from individually, both of you, what are like some things that you did inwardly to foster that inward confidence to combat these constant threats, whether it's micro or macro messages that are constantly coming at us that, you know, we're not good enough in some capacity.
I started boxing. I started boxing and beating the shit out of a punching bag and getting all that anger out. And it created a space for a peacefulness and a solidity that I could fill with my own affirmations and my own understandings and my own truths. And I had a lot of anger taking up space. And I needed to empty that out inwardly. Like, it took me doing something outwardly to empty it out inwardly and refill that space with what I know to be true. Because especially if you're a public figure, like, you know, you just have people telling you who you are all day long. And they've never met you, they don't know you, you know, and it can really play with you. And as a Black person, again, people don't know you, they never met you, but they're judging you based on all types of things that have nothing to do with you. And I've just tried to by going to therapy and by arming myself with I never believed in affirmations. I thought they were like corny and cheesy until I started believing what I was affirming.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh, that's why folks be doing this. Religion, and you got to be the God in you. So you got to believe in you. Oh,
Oh, that's good.
I just got small, man. I left a relationship that didn't do anything but and I didn't make
today.
Oh wow, congratulations.
Man, congratulations.
Thank you. My birthday is tomorrow, so right on time.
But no, I mean, I came out of a lot of relationships, not just intimate ones, that just didn't, because I don't believe that anybody can make you do shit. I think you have to be complicit in it. You know, there's some responsibility in there. And so, you know, for me, I got small, and I didn't want to abuse myself anymore. I didn't want to repress anymore. I truly wanted happiness more than I wanted anything. And I just started living precisely how I want to live, and visualizing everything in such an unlimited way. And I found Sadhguru, and then I found Don Miguel Ruiz, and then I found Osho, and then I found Pema Chodron, then I found Monyee, and I just kept finding all these authors that really taught mindlessness, you know, not mindfulness, mindlessness, like getting out of your fucking head and being so neurotic, you know? And once I learned that, it changed my life, because now, the last thing I'll say is I fell in love with right now, this moment.
That's good.
You know? And so, I fell in love with it. Like I am such a present person, and I want to be as present as I possibly can, because there's such a beauty to being able to truly be here right now, you know? And I said that was going to be the last thing, and I stopped needing things from people.
Right.
I don't lack for shit. If I don't have it, I just don't have it, right? My life is abundant as fuck, even in the face of all of the bullshit, even in the face of whatever comes in my face. I don't lack for anything. I'm I'm here, you know?
I have a question, Amanda, because you were talking about we need to create our own safe spaces. And obviously that is the goal and the mission for a lot of us Black people who are conscious to that. How in this space can we do that? And Beatrice, and you mentioned, like, is it something that we do without a whole bunch of people knowing? Because it does seem that when we do try to create our own spaces, that in some way it is infiltrated in some way. So
yeah, but even your home is a safe space. Like you have to learn what safe space even means. You know, like that's the thing. A lot of us don't even know what that means. I didn't know what that meant. Like to be able to cultivate it in my everyday life. Like it took a long time for me to really understand, like, what does that mean, and how do I play a role in cultivating that in whatever space I'm in? I came to realize, like, oh, if I'm in a relationship where we can't have a conversation without it being an argument,
right,
we are not cultivating a safe space.
Okay. And realizing that you are the only safe spaces with you. Like Amanda just said, that is the safe space. Once you decide, right, that's the only fucking space that there is you and your decisions and your responsibilities and how you want to live and how you want to operate your life and the things you want to say and how you want to eat and how you want to think and who you hang around and how you project your shit onto other people. And you know, and how you are defensive and I can say all these things because I've been that human before. Right? So like creating a safe space starts with you.
That's good.
Yes. It's you are the safe space. There is no fucking special social media or no shit like that where all the black people can go. No, the way to raise
I mean,
our
there is,
vibration,
because I really did create an app for that. But
no, sister, I know. And I want to be on it. Can I be in one of those, whatever they're
we need
be?
to have, yes,
whatever
we
you
need
want
to talk
do.
about. We need to talk about all these things.
But real shit. That is the safe space. When you're talking about vibrations aren't seen. Energy isn't seen, it's fucking invisible. Right? I can think about somebody and see them tomorrow. I can have a really close friend that I feel some shit coming for, call them, and then it comes. Because I really am here with it. I'm really clear with that shit. I really like love like that. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to, the only safe space is with us.
That's good. Just as we close, do you guys have any just last thoughts or words of wisdom you would offer to anyone who is striving to start their own opportunity, whether it be create their own content or start their own business? As a Black person in this space, what words of wisdom would you share with them?
To just do it.
Yep. Go hard or go home.
And fully fucking submit to it. And don't be afraid if you got to work 2 jobs and do your business and raise your family and do all the shit. You don't need no fucking take a handout if it's given to you because it showed up. So take it, but don't rely on the shit. You know what I mean? And keep yourself. Make sure that you take care of yourself. In order to be successful in business, in life, there's plenty of successful people that are not happy. Don't make me wrong. But
listen.
Yeah, I know you know. But taking care of yourself needs to actually be your business. Getting happy needs to be your business. Eating well needs to be your business.
That's good.
Thinking well needs to be your business. Reading well needs to be your business. Being fucking quiet well needs to be your business.
Oh,
you know, so make that your business, and then also do whatever the physical business is that you want to do that's outside of you. Look, money ain't shit if you're not happy.
Nope.
If you're not happy and you got so much fucking money, you are poor. You are fucking poor.
And I'll just piggyback off of that, saying, yes, make yourself your passion project. And do not let someone's no stop you from creating your own yes.
That's good. That's good. Wow.
Make that yes strong.
That was good. I'm gonna have to watch this back and write all of this stuff down. Y'all just blessed me. Do you guys have anything you guys want to plug in on things that people should be looking out for? Any new projects in the works or anything that we can be expecting from the Honey Pot coming up? Anything you want to share with the people?
You can check out my app, SFB Society.
Right now, honey. Yes.
Oh, we have a delay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, D.
Go, sister. That's more important.
Can you see my face in the delay?
Amanda, talk about your stuff, girl.
I just launched an app, SFB Society. Smart stands for Smart, Funny, and Black Society, and it's a safe space for us to be our whole Black selves. We have original content. We have inspiring, intellectual, uplifting conversations from everything from holistic to humor. So it really is just a thriving community that I started on June 1st, where individuals have been able to come and really plant roots and talk about all aspects of their Black lives, from their fight for revolution to their fight for joy.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's beautiful. Honey Pot is working to right now to stay on top of our business and make sure that we're delivering the supply for the demand. And, you know, our sole focus right now is just really, really, really getting really strong and lean within our business. And we're focused on that. We have new products coming down the pike, but I can't really talk about that until it's time for them to launch. You know, and then we're developing some really great content for IGTV, where, and I don't know, Amanda, if you'd be down to jump into this or not, but where we're bringing in like yoga teachers, and we're bringing in meditation teachers, and we're bringing in like sound, like, you know, gong therapists and sound therapists, and we're cooking with chefs that understand how to eat well and shop well. You know, I want to create content that give people actionable things to do. To get themselves to a good place, you know. And so you know, Amanda, I know that there's probably a zillion things that we could connect on, because we're similar humans, you know. So I don't know, can you connect Amanda and I through email?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Okay, cool. But yeah, you know, I love it. So yeah, like, I mean, that's what we're doing, man. I just, you know, I want to, it's not my responsibility, but then again, maybe it is, because I want to do it. I just want to show people say to me about me being zen and calm and all that shit. How do you do that? And you know, I just want to show people how to do the work, who don't necessarily think that they have the means when they're fully capable, you know? So.
Wow. Well, thank you both so much. You guys dropped so much gems. And again, you guys have both been great inspirations to me. So thank you for being you, because it gives me the freedom to be me. And I mean that with every fiber in my being. Thank you, everybody who has joined this panel, and enjoy the rest of the event.
If you go up, why? Look, 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 if you go up, why? J on the track, nigga. Look, if you go, hey, it's time for all the security. Look, if you get around. It's going down. Yeah, well, I'm a cat tone pistol holding nigga on your damn street. Stomping, jumping, bumping every car off in this damn thing. Throwing up balls up at these songs, screaming and bleeding from the nose. But when we start, this is where we make them niggas hit the flow. Ain't no game off in this thing. We be deep off in your party. Call my niggas get it started. And with niggas be the hardest. So if a nigga come and run they mouth just like a hoe, punch him dead up in his nose and stomp his ass out to the floor.
Yeah, we knocking and bucking and ready to fight. I bet ya I'ma throw them things, so haters best to think twice. See me, I ain't nothing. They call my beat, ain't no stopping. Becky like Saddam Hussein, Killer, and Osama bin Laden. Like they said, I am acting a fool. I wish I had a wicked crunk up on this crime, my crew. Now enough is enough, boy. I rub and get stuffed, boy. Love is a must, boy. No, if you buck, boy.
Look, if you go up, boy. Look, if you go up, boy. Look, if you go up, boy. Look, if you go up, boy. Look, if you go up, boy. Look, if you go up, boy.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed yourself. We hope that you turned up and took lots of notes on those panel discussions. You don't want to miss out on day 2. See you there.